you know, maybe say I don't need that extra 1,000 gold. EP is gonna do miracles with it, because once you get that Aghanim Scepter, the game just like feels completely different. EG banning out Tidehunter, no surprise there. Beastmaster EP get on Kaiju with any kind of lockdown, and we already see Doom is being banned out, one of the better counters from the Tidehunter. Vici had a decent amount of success with the Tide.
And this is what we were talking about how they're just going to ban these really strong offense heroes in this phase, and you're not going to be left with the ideal pick here, and that happened with the Tidehunter and the Timbersaw. ET has just been so excellent, really, that if Vici don't ban something like a Luna or a Terrorblade, this is the kind of draft that EG wants to play on.
Yeah, I believe these two heroes that you just mentioned, Effie, are going to be highly contested by both of these teams. I think maybe you're going to see both of them actually being picked if they're not banned out. One thing I wanted to see coming into this matchup is EG getting more tower damage. I'm talking about the sieging the tier 3 towers, and that's exactly what they get from the Beastmaster. We still don't see the carry, because Vici Gaming, historically, they've been the team that decision making in the late game is always going to be good, always going to be top notch. They're going to turtle as much as they can, so you need to be able to break them.
Some budgeting from Vici, a little bit surprising, but given their heroes, I do suppose that it makes sense, right? Invoker Converge, Jingasak's not the easiest hero to gank mid, but Lion and Monkey King do support, so.
What hero would you be thinking then for Ovid here? So actually, let's go together with lane of each. Because you were saying that you want Ori to just feel good, like you want him to feel comfortable. What are some heroes that we could be seeing here for Ori that would get him back and picked up?
Lina, Buck, DA, these are the classic Ori heroes. Even a Dragonite, if the matchup is good, you know, he's not the most flashy hero, but gets the job done.
I think the Void Spirit is also a very good hero for him and a good hero in this meta. It's just that yesterday's performance on it wasn't ideal, but he has impressed on it before. I've seen him come back from 30k net worth deficits, but he did have a Doom against it. Makes a huge difference. I wouldn't mind seeing a Void Spirit for him, that's for sure. It's just depending on what Spirit hero they go for Ovid here, it might end up being a mistake, right? So a lot of it is up in the air. And there's the Luna ban that we were talking about. That makes a lot of sense.
Because Luna plus Beastmaster, once these heroes group up together early on, it just feels so good. The tower push that you get from it is insane. You get a lot of team fight as well. Luna with the Eclipse, Beastmaster 4 to set things up, and also Beastmaster against Monkey King always going to be good. With the Axis providing vision with the Hawk, so Monkey in this game might not have the best game, because usually if that's position for Monkey, he spends a lot, like 90% of the time, just sitting on the trees.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought up vision actually, because with the combination of ET and Beastmaster, it seems like these areas like Roshan and Triangle and some that are not ever going to be secure for Vici if EG do manage to win their lanes and snowball that into advantage. Monkey King is an incredibly popular hero, and I can see why, but as a support, he's so easily countered, especially by heroes like Dawnbreaker and Beastmaster that are wildly popular no matter how they
So then does that deter the potential flex in the Monkey King? Because you were talking about the whole idea of picking off them in the first phase, but most teams have been trying to either pick support plus flex or two supports straight up. They have
I don't think there's anything wrong with Lion and Monkey as their position 4 and 5, because Lion fixes a lot of the drafts. Sometimes you see like IO plus one extra hero that doesn't have any kind of silence stun, and then you're in a bit of a trouble, which allows enemy to pick heroes that could potentially abuse that. Lion fixes a lot of those issues.
Also, Lion directly counters Ovid's hero pool, right? Hug,
Yeah.
Storm, and Ember. So it's a nice thing to secure for yourself early on in the draft. It's just that Monkey King 4 here doesn't seem like it's going to have the greatest game.
There's a Storm for Ori. You talk about some of the Spirit heroes. Storm is definitely in that pool, very confident on the hero, and a hero with a relatively high win rate this TI.
Well, currently it looks like a good Storm game, right? All there is a Primal Roar. There's no instant stun from the ET. He can jump on him in the backlands and get rid of that natural order fairly quickly, and that's going to be very useful in team fights. I can see him going for something like Orchid BKB this game, just to make sure that there's no issue in what he plays his next, right? Because I believe there's still a Disruptor in the pool, which is typically what teams are playing for in this game.
Yeah, they might need to get some kind of silence for the Storm Spirit. Lina also still available in the pool. I don't think you want to go for Ember type of a hero, because he just loses the Storm. Yesterday, one of the games, I believe I've said 60s, maybe even 65. Oh, well, there we go. Sometimes you just have to go for it.
It goes both ways, right? Ember can also catch Storm and things like that. It's just that his job is much better.
Yeah, for just the laning stage, Storm Spirit feels much, much stronger. And we talked about the silence, you brought it up. Scarlet Mage is going to be that hero, the instant silence that will provide a bit more lockdown for the Storm Spirit. He definitely does not like the playing field. Already mentioned the itemization that Storm will need to go for. I think, like, even though you're playing the Beastmaster, BKB as your second item is kind of must when you're playing against Skyrat Mage, because there are no saves whatsoever on your side. There's no healings, there's nothing that can, buy some time for you to survive that team fight.
As the coach was saying, these two picks to ensure an early BKB on Storm, which isn't ideal for him usually. He likes to avoid things like that, but that's just the nature of what happens if you pick him early on. Also, the slight plus chains combo is incredibly prominent in Skyrat Mage, right? You think to yourself, oh, combo with Roar, but it's actually much more low control to do with an Ember early game. They should be able to burst Storm, Monkey King, even Medusa.
Yeah, between the natural order and the ancient sphere, you have so much magic down.
It's insane how much damage you can deal with that. I think Vici Gaming needs to get rid of Ursa because he feels super strong against the Monkey King and be inside the Wukong's command, even though it's going to be a position for Monkey from what it seems. Natural diffusal builder, which is also going to be great against both Storm Spirit and the Medusa. I just overall love Ursa against Medusa matchup. And it's EG's Radiant, so that means that once you do the switcheroo, once the tier 1 towers fall, you can always go to the top lane and threaten the Roshan, because you have really good heroes. Beastmaster will be providing the vision. That means that Vici Gaming need to play around the Roche pit, which is something that they don't want to. They want to be playing the bottom part of the map where they have vision.
I'm looking at this Medusa pick right now, and honestly, Vici are in dire need of some sort of defensive offlaner that can come and help when the triangle gets invaded, right? But they've already banned everything out. At this point, what's left is potentially Mars, but I don't consider him the greatest defensive offlaner. So Vici could just take a different approach.
Oh, it's AM game. Like, they need to ban out AM. These are the heroes that work the best in the lane, both Legion Commander and Slardar, because they don't need mana. They can pressure, even if you use counter spell, you're still gonna get the duel. That Slardar one of the best ones against AM in the lane for sure. So they need, I believe it's just gonna be AM or Ursa, whichever one is not banned, the other is gonna get picked for EG.
I will agree with that, absolutely. Especially just to go back on the point that I was talking on, there really isn't some kind of defensive hero to help this Medusa at the moment.
There's the AM ban you were talking about, so let's see if the Ursa gets picked.
It's not the greatest Ursa game, but if they hit their tempo, it'll become incredibly potent, right? Because typically later on when he plays versus heroes like this, like Medusa and Lion, he's going to get kited, and Monkey King even when he gets items. But if they just want to play this early game snowball advantage, which is EG's playstyle, they win the lanes and just choke enemies out of the map, Ursa could work here, like what else was saying.
Oh, thanks. What about this matchup, the core particularly against Medusa?
Don't remember seeing it, but they have ways of kiting it. So they have also a great setup with ET Stomp, Roar, long range initiation coming out from Slight Chains combo. And it also gives them a bit more tower damage. Maybe that's why they decided to go for Clinks. Instead, something that I brought up is sieging the tier 3 towers, which is going to be important. And Vici Gaming with Medusa, I think they're going to feel pretty safe just sitting there inside the base if things don't go well.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have the greatest hero to go in here. Okay, let's see.
Last pick, Bloodseeker offlane here.
I don't particularly like it so much, but I understand what they're trying to do with it, right? They want to just instantly kill a target, right? You can put it on Storm Spirit and him and Lion just go kill the Clinks together very quickly. Also, they can just use the Rupture for early aggression, which is what I was trying to say. If you're not going to go for the defensive offlaner that's all been banned out, you have to play the aggressive playstyle. You have to pressure them in order for them to not pressure you.
And it's one way to buff up your Medusa. I maybe expected something a bit more defensive, something that can defend the towers. Bloodrite is okay-ish. It's not your, Earthshaker Underlord type of the hero. But looking at the drafts, I never had a really good read on Clinks, to be honest, like how strong he can get, because he gets pretty strong early on. So, yeah, I think both drafts look relatively strong to me.
Okay. Well, the final point I want is Vici team that likes stability of the game. Bloodseeker, great at lane cutting. If you go for the Veil build that used to be so popular, it's getting popular again. So who knows? Maybe they can play the game. But well, I'm gonna wait for that because I want to hear your final thoughts here, Effie. He gave me his. Is there any draft you favor?
I favor EG's draft a little bit more just because it does seem like they can run them over. This Bloodseeker pick, I have to see it properly to understand, but I don't see a clear rupture target. I guess maybe the ET, but like Clinks is gonna stand there and shoot his burning arrows anyway, right? And he's gonna do it on the roar, he's gonna do it on the chains. We'll see how it goes.
Well, before we get into the game, we do have an exclusive interview with EG's coach, Boba, and Frankie's on the sidelines to ask him the questions.
Hello, well, I am very excited to have legend of TI Boba with me right now. And first of all, you're known for your watertight game plans. What was your team's reaction when you pitched them your game plan for Vici today?
Kyle recommended this really good egg place in Romania, so shout out to him.
So you're all egg bound in the booth. It's not really wise to eat a load of eggs before you trap with each other.
Yeah, but they were really good eggs though.
Really good eggs. So basically, if you win today, it's because of keeping it Kyle. Let's head over to our casters. We've got OD, Pixel, and Fault.
Thank you very much, Frankie. Yes, game one. It has just begun. We've got a brief pause. I'm sure it's only going to be a brief one. Of course, Evil Geniuses versus Vici Gaming. I'm OD Pixel here with Fault.
Hello.
Fault, what do you want to talk about first? What are you excited to see from these two teams?
Well, we've got Ori on Storm versus an Ember Spirit. I think anybody who watched yesterday saw how tough of a time Ori did have in the opposite of the matchup, where he was playing the Ember Spirit versus the GPK Storm.
Yes,
so
he
I think
had
Ori is probably feeling a little fired up. Probably he's like, you know what? I
Yep.
want to do it back. He's a master tier Storm, so that's got to be the most exciting thing for me. However, he is playing into an instant silence, also roots, so game could get a little bit difficult if he doesn't have a good start. But he should have a good start,
Sure.
based off of that.
What's your thoughts really on the way that Vici Gaming wrapped this up with the old 11 Bloodseeker coming in as the last pick in the draft?
It's definitely interesting. It's different from their usual. I was actually not expecting that at all. They usually tend to have old 11 on more of this type of team fighter. This is just a very different style draft for them, where it's a lot more fight heavy early on to allow to give space to Poyoyo. So yeah, just different approach. I do like EG's approach a bit more this time around, just because they do have this easy type of catch, and it's a very momentum-based lineup that they've gone for this time around.
No, for sure. And you like the sort of the choice of carry this game going with the Clinks? You feel this sort of fits the play style that EG's been rolling with?
Yeah, they definitely really like the hero. Works well with the Beastmaster. The Death Pact, of course, too, is going to be utilized really well when we do have like the Helm of Dominator, Overlord, etc. picked up. He's going to be able to use that really nicely. And I think Epi touched on it a bit at the end there, is you can just hold your ground. I know the Bloodseeker was picked after it, but they've got Chains, they've got Roar, so if you can just hold your ground and get that off, it's nice. And the lane is... I feel like this lane might be a bit tough for 11, even though he's got so much sustain that comes out as the Bloodseeker. He's versus ET, and this hero's just been so strong whenever you have...
Yeah, I mean, how much do you feel PYW is going to be able to do to hold back ET? Is it... How safe can he keep old 11 up it?
He probably can, because you have the double stuns that you're going to be able to play around later on when you get Hex. So he should have a decent time at least, but I think it's still going to be a little... He's going to have a decent time to at least protect him from dying, but I still think old 11 won't get much last hits up here.
Let's see. He's going to pushing the wave underneath the tower.
I'm honestly just staring at mid, because like Ori, he has to make up for yesterday. It feels like he had a bit of a rough series after that first game.
Easy courier here.
Nice grab. That was the salve. Do they have any extra regen? Okay, PYW did bring a salve out. They're going to need to use it soon. We're just watching the poke. Look at old 11. Just getting constantly hit from those searing arrows, hit from the Astral Spirit, and just walk down. He's going to get salved up and have to hide himself for a moment.
Mid lane, pretty even at the moment. 8 for 1, 7 for 1.
I wonder how well they're going to be able to secure Poyoyo's farm as well. It's a Monkey King, so traditionally the Monkey Kings, we'll watch PYW eat a couple hits. He should be okay.
Yeah, it's going to take 2 more. And he's got the Dukes hit round the trees. Fly won't be able to find him.
But yeah, they picked a pretty greedy safe lane, it feels like to me. Monkey King, usually versus these melee heroes, he thrives, like Beastmaster. But Beastmaster plus a ranged hero is actually really strong versus this Monkey King Medusa lane. So I think securing the farm for Poyoyo could be a little difficult as the levels do start coming out for crit. Because you can't trade. That's the problem with Monkey King. Versus these ranged heroes, you get on top of them with tree dance, you have to commit for a kill, but trading is just not really much of an option.
And with sort of Beastmaster, the hero in general, why is it that I feel like we just didn't see this hero as much as we thought we would see it coming into the tournament?
Ori taking a hit there. I think it's just a very player-specific hero, and also it's not this big team fighter. I think TI tends to just bring more team fight than any other tournament, so he's just different. He's a pusher. He's always going to be good with the itemization, especially when Dominator's populator, but you're not a massive team fighter. You're all about like pressing your advantage and taking objectives. Already seeing an early rotation. Crit hanging around the mid lane. Abed is having a pretty damn good time. He's played really nicely around his Sleight of Fists with his Flame Guard and dodged out, I think, 2 or 3 Remnants to keep it active, and it's pressuring Ori. And we do see the early point in chains picked up on Abed. So it could look to set up for early kills with those crit moves. RTZ does take a Blood Right, a big one.
Yeah, how's he doing for regen? He's just got the stick on him as Fly. He's now got that side back out, he does, so RTZ will be topped up. Some definite pressure. I mean, old 11, for the struggles you thought he may have up here, he's farming pretty darn well.
Yeah, he's definitely recovered really nicely. Killing that courier, I think, was a big deal too, because Fly has no regen, so that he can't like trade as effectively, so they are able to pressure RTZ a little bit more. And bottom two, I mean, DY's doing pretty good work. Poyoyo is up to that 17 last hits. I think he secured 1 or 2 boars as well, so whenever you kill even 1 boar in the lane, it always feels great. That extra big burst of XP. Are seeing the runes being checked out. DY camping bottom. Abed able to get the 1 rune. DY will look to protect this one for Ori. But Abed's coming out even in the matchup, and we saw, of course, how GPK, he really handled Ori in that one, but as you know, Abed very comfortable in this matchup. He knows exactly how to play around those slight dodges versus the Remnants to keep Flame Guard active.
I mean, all things said and done, out of all 3 lanes, all cores are having a fine time. Nobody's getting bullied completely. First blood will finally fall on the top lane. And they won't look to dive for RTZ. Old 11 able to beat him back. So these kills already. They can get some level advantage on the Bloodseeker. Setup is there. RTZ, he's in trouble. He's going to get taken down. PYW finding him. And I guess RTZ just not expecting PYW to lead in through the trees and the burst to be there from the setup into the Blood Right, but it was. That's RTZ out there lane. I mean, that's huge. That's blowing that top lane wide open.
They're playing the lane just like really well. PYW is perfectly in position every single time. Mid, you see that crit rotation. PYW's coming in to help.
See, they get the kill. PYW won't be able to set him anything on his own. So EG at least able to make something happen elsewhere whilst the top lane starts to fall apart.
Abed sees a small camp stack. He also identified that there's vision on the high ground there. Actually, cool play there by Abed, dragging the wave to the left so he knows there's an obstacle there. It's only there for 10 more seconds, so unlikely they'll get the D ward. But now mid, PYW shows his face.
Yeah, Abed's just going to jump straight away. He's got the 6 and he uses it immediately. And he goes with the Remnants, the follow-up burst from crits and up. Making sure only used the couple there as well. He's still got the Remnant to reset and return back to the lane.
And immediately double checking runes. Fly checks top rune. They have crit double stacking Ancients to make sure that the Clink is able to catch up after this little of a tough start in the laning phase. And they will be able to get that illusion rune top. Abed also steals the small camp stack that we were mentioning from before. Really looking to shut down Ori. They look like they're bringing both supports though now. Vici, this is a very common move we talked about. I know at Animator people were really harping on how much Vici did do their double support movements around that 6-minute mark to help out Ori. I think EG's kind of expecting that. They're starting to make their move away. They're leaving RTZ up top and just making the moves around with crit and with Fly toward bottom.
I mean, top RTZ's got to be careful. PYW's really coming over again. 6 is about to be there on old 11. If they're getting sort of set up onto RTZ here on his own, he's not going to stand a chance. Bottom lane, trying to get in with the aggression, EG. 2 supports backing up Ice, but Poyoyo keeps himself firing at bat. We'll see the attempt up top. Not quite able to go there. Old 11 didn't quite have that level 6 here. Still waiting on it in a creep or 2.
They've slowed down RTZ so much. We've seen a lot of times with these Clinks, they just rush the Maelstrom without even boots. He has to go boots in this matchup just because he's getting run down. And Old 11 is going to be 6th.
Yeah.
With Treads, with Urn, very strong.
I mean, can RTZ even stay up here on his own now? It seems so dangerous.
Perhaps waiting for them to maybe overcommit, checking if Abed has TP, then they'll probably look for a counter gank play. Doesn't want to just straight up abandon the lane. They are stinging the rotation though. They have this ward that Fly did place
yeah, he's
before
got to
he left
get
the
out.
lane. Yeah,
he's backing
pitch.
off.
Yeah.
Arteezy knows he can't set up her any longer.
They already have a jungle ward though placed for him, so they're gonna be able to watch him if he ever does farm these camps inside their safe triangle. Abed though, since he sees the storm move top, immediately starts pressing onto mid, looking to go for some tower damage. And they will send Poyoyo to the mid lane. So again, both of these safe laners abandoning their lanes.
Yeah, and Poyoyo as the Medusa can sort of sit around and farm this mid area of the map without any threat from EG's heroes.
Yeah, they've got the counter gank, same thing, right? Like Ori, he walked top, he didn't make the teleport, so he didn't have to use his teleport. Same thing for Old 11, they both have TPs available. If Poyoyo gets gone on, I mean, he's priority number 1, they'll double TP to protect him. So laning phase, first 8 minutes, Vici, about 1k gold up because of that top lane being so successful, 900 ahead of the Clinks on that Bloodseeker.
The difference in the carry here for Cyril so far, with the ease of lane they had to start things off with. Arteezy gonna have to do a little bit more of a recovery than Poyoyo.
First, and also Vici takes the first tower. Usually the team with Beastmaster is the ones who end up getting that first one, but EG will quickly catch back up his bottom. We'll get sieged.
You see Vici as well, they're keeping the 3 heroes up around this tier 2. Again, just Arteezy having to play so cautiously. He's been completely left on his own on this half of the map by the rest of his team, with EG looking for these sort of objectives. So yeah, just such a scary game for Arteezy in these early stages.
It's great prioritization coming out from Vici, just keeping everything up there top, making sure that Poyoyo has all the space in the world. EG does have, of course, that recovery method being built up. We see the stacks, triple ancient, double hard camp. So he will be able to farm that. Once he gets his Maelstrom, of course, we've seen this time and time again, the burning barrage on it, so.
I mean, what's the plan here for EG? How do they free this game up a bit more for Arteezy, getting this space secured?
Well, as long as he's not getting invaded into his triangle, I think it's now okay. Like, everything's starting to stabilize for them. They're going to start like looking to rotate and collapse on mid with Ice soon. And already they have pretty deep vision as well. Both teams are done. That's when we'll probably see the big action kicked off from Vici, but they might look to anyway fight around mid tower since CG is collapsing with that Beastmaster.
See what they want to do about this Vici Gaming TP. Coming over from Old 11, he's ready to join the crew here. It's Vici Gaming, everybody apart from DY right now around this mid lane. The tier 1 falling slowly. Poyoyo's going to start to try and clear it out.
Haven't shown the blood right. That's their best way to wave clear besides the Medusa snake. We'll stop the push though with that snake, of course, and EG's gonna smoke. Look to catch around the ancient side. I think they're recognizing that, it's like Arteezy's not able to farm the ancients because he doesn't have Maelstrom, and Poyoyo is just freely farming ancients at every single one of these camps, so they have to slow him down.
They've got to do something, and they have got good kill potential with the Mystic Flare. Ancient. Bit of a rule there between the two of them. Could have got, definitely got a bit messier that.
Yep, I think EG's probably pretty satisfied. They got Poyoyo. It allows Arteezy to sit back, catch back up. He's got Maelstrom.